On this episode, we will be highlighting you through three main questions and three answers from the recently concluded El Clasico, with FC Barcelona beating Real Madrid 2-1, courtesy of a goal from Nico Paz and a brace from Pau Victor of FC Barcelona. We'll be discussing you detailedly on that in this episode as we progress, so please stay tuned right up to the end. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification bells so you do not miss out on our daily Real Madrid update. Real Madrid continued their preparations for the 2024-25 campaign with the now traditional pre-season friendly against FC Barcelona, this time at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, USA. The game, which was interrupted by lightning, ended with a 2-1 victory for the Catalans, as Nico Paz's late header wasn't enough to cancel out Pau Victor's two goals either side of halftime. Talking on the three answers on the night, the first one being how much of a Clasico would this be? With no Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe or Dani Carvajal, and with the likes of Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo and Eder Militao getting the first minutes of preseason, this was far from a full-strength Real Madrid side. And the same goes for Barcelona, who were without several of their own key players. It was the first time that Hansi Flick sat in the dugout for a Clasico, and the huge crowd in the stands of the MetLife Stadium made a raucous atmosphere, which helped to add the sense of occasion. But it was evident that this was not as intense or important as one of the battles that we will likely see a number of times over the course of the campaign ahead. The only change to the starting lineup was the return of Eder Militao, although it is true that the changes off the bench were an improvement from the side put out against AC Milan. The second answer of the night: would Arda Güler play in midfield or in attack? In the build-up to play this week, Arda Güler was tested in midfield by Carlo Ancelotti, having put him in the front three for the game against AC Milan with great success, as the Turkish teenager produced a fine display. However, his role was definitely one of those more offensive roles in the front line, again repeating the attacking role he had against Milan earlier this week. He was once again a live spark, claiming an assist for Nico Paz's goal with a smart corner delivery and creating three other chances. Barcelona looked to mark him heavily, but still couldn't keep him quiet when the ball made it to the Turkish international, who also worked hard defensively and tracked back effectively. The third answer of the day: would we see more of Juan Martinez, the academy youngster? If there has been one player who has surpassed expectations this preseason, it has been 16 years old defender Juan Martinez. The juvenile A player was called up to the squad to travel to the US amid speculations over the fitness of Jesus Vallejo, and he has looked very composed in a cameo against AC Milan and in training. At only 16, his performances show a maturity far beyond his years, and there was hope that he would feature against Barcelona. He came on around an hour mark in New Jersey and looked calm in possession and didn't seem out of place in such a high-profile fixture. He was not tested too much defensively, but he certainly didn't look like a downgrade on Eder Militao when called upon. So, having discussed on the three answers of the night, we will now turn our attention to the three questions from last night's encounter. The first one: Thus, the preseason Clásico have any influence on the season? Recent years shows that the answer is a resounding no. This is the third consecutive year in which the two giants of Spanish soccer has come head-to-head in preseason, with Real Madrid yet to win any of their meetings. Only once have Barcelona gone on to win La Liga in the season to follow. In fact, this was an improvement on the previous two for Real Madrid, as they failed to score in either of the two last meetings. The last time Real Madrid won a preseason exhibition game against Barcelona was in 1959, when Puskas, Gento and Di Stefano were on the score sheet in a 4-3 win for the Merengues. Ironically, it was preparations for one of only two seasons between 1955 and 1965 in which Real Madrid did not win La Liga. The second question of the night: how important could this preseason be for Eder Militao? This preseason is an unusual one for Eder Militao, coming a year after an anterior cruciate ligament injury effectively wrote off his 2023-24 campaign. When he did return at the end of the domestic season, he looked understandably rusty and shaky and struggled to hit his usual height. Despite that, he went to the Copa America with Brazil and is now continuing his rebuild fitness with Real Madrid during the preseason. He was not afraid to start this game, ahead of his international teammate who started on the bench. Militao looked in good shape, but knows the importance of getting a strong preseason under his belt before the campaign kicks off competitively. The third and final question of the night: how much was this game influenced by the weather? After concerns that kickoff may be delayed due to the storm and lightning, with initial suggesting that there could be as much as a 2-hour postponement to the start of the game. The match did begin at the scheduled time. However, it lasted only 11 minutes before referee Armando Villarreal was left with no choice but to activate the lightning delay protocol, which meant that the game was suspended for 30 minutes. The subsequent delay of almost 90 minutes disrupted the flow of the game, where Real Madrid had looked dangerous on the counter and were threatening Barcelona's goal. In truth, it took both teams most of the first half to truly get going and find their momentum. So, having discussed and concluded with that, we have come to the end of this interesting episode. Thanks for following us right up to the end. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification bells so you do not miss out on our daily Real Madrid update. See you next time, and a very big Hala Madrid to us all.